Today, we will be covering two examples of striking civilian buildings from Gaza and one from Ukraine, as well as the potential military reasoning for striking civilian buildings from a military perspective. What you just saw was the IDF using missile strikes to demolish what they believe was a building housing Hamas-related targets, but that also housed the offices of the Associated Press and Al Jazeera in May of 2021. Our second example, from 2014, and what we will see next, is the IDF striking a different apartment building that was thought to have a large command complex for Hamas underground.
مجمعا حكوميا وسط مدينة غزة وقبل قليل تم إطلاق نعم هذه غارة بالقرب من ربما استمعتم إلى هذه الغارة في المبنى الذي يظهر الآن في الصورة وهو تم إبلاغ أحد الآن محمود لازم ننزل.
A standard technique for the IDF is to strike the top of these buildings and apartment complexes with a so-called door-knocking small warhead missile, while simultaneously calling the building owner or other managers, allowing 10 to 15 minutes before the real strike takes place and the collapsing of the building. The second strike that we have seen here supposedly has, as I stated before, a large command complex underground. They used two missile strikes at the base of the building to destroy it, from there collapsing the entire thing and burying whatever is underneath. And we will show from here several different angles, the same building being dropped down by the two missiles. Because of the potential for militants or other military-related targets for military powers such as Israel and the IDF, civilian buildings can now become legitimate military targets. If there are command posts, observation posts, radio and or other equipment inside, it then becomes a justifiable military target. For the standard civilian, we have no way to tell if a building could be housing military equipment or not, since we are not part of the offending force or defending force. Because of this, sometimes things that appear to be illegitimate military strikes may actually be taking out forward observation teams with communications equipment or other military objectives. What comes next is the Kiev rocket attack against the apartment complex that I have been talking about so far. There does not appear to be any Russian forces around the apartment complex when it was struck, 1.5 miles from Sikorsky International Airport. If the intended effect was to take down the apartment complex, we can see from our previous IDF examples there are no strikes towards the retaining members, and instead they are solely in the upper portion of the building. What reasoning for this, I am not sure. Forward observation teams or other military equipment doesn't seem a likely scenario because this building was not overlooking any military targets at that time, or Russian forces. What you see here was originally claimed to be a downed aircraft over Kiev that then impacted an apartment building. It was later revealed to be a surface-to-air intercepted missile and or artillery strike. Misinformation is very common at this point in time. Still, things aren't always appearing to be what they are, or what they are claimed to be in news or otherwise.
Кажется, 7. 7. Какой ужас. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7. 7.
Another barrage before dawn. Ukrainian anti-aircraft batteries intercepting a Russian missile over the capital, one of two shot down.
The last clip I have for you is an excellent example coming from BBC of spreading of fear intentionally and terrorizing of its own viewership.
The Ukrainians have warned that Russian soldiers could be operating inside the city, perhaps even in stolen Ukrainian vehicles. Pressure on the government is mounting all the time. Most people here believe the Russians simply want to get rid of it.